Thanks, Renee. One of the biggest investments we will make in our lifetime is the purchase of a home. It's a huge commitment and one that can impact our finances for decades to come. So today we're looking at some key home buying tips and several options to choose from. Francisco Reynoso from Cal Coast Credit Union is here, a manager of real estate lending, and our other guest, Jorge Vega from Community Realty, their company. So thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
This is a very important step for people to do. So we'll start with you, Jorge. You know, depending on the situation, looking at which options they should do. It's a process, not an event, right?
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's really important for people to recognize that, because a lot of times we think that you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to decide, I'm going to buy a house, and you're going to do it in a day, and that's not the case. It takes planning. It takes preparation, and so it doesn't matter where you're at in the process. It's okay as long as you know what the next steps are.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those steps. And Francisco, we're going to get to you to talk about other angles of this. But Jorge, the first step, you meet with a reputable lender?
Absolutely, because that's going to help really answer the big questions, which are, can I qualify for a loan? And if I do qualify, how much can I qualify for? And what is my payment going to be?
So how realistic are they typically? Do you have a lot of folks come in with grand hopes about what they can do?
You know, San Diego is a high-cost, low-inventory market.
Very, yes.
And one of the things that happens is that we need to really, all clients are looking for value. And so, but within that, we really need to know, what do we really need and what do we want? And by doing that, you'll be able to make a quick decision without feeling rushed when the right property comes to the market.
Okay, and what about technology tools? What do we have that we maybe didn't have before?
You know, there's so many tools out there for clients, whether it's payment calculators, if you're trying to figure out what the payment is, or Trulia or Zillow, and there's all kinds of tools to help you figure out what's on the market. But one of the really neat tools that all realtors have is they can set you up so that you receive immediate notification when the right property comes in the market. When I mean right property, it's one that fits the number of bedrooms, the right area, and the right price. And so by doing that, you can save yourself a ton of time. Rather than having to look online, the information comes to you.
And what about offers, making offers? If you go really low, is there a fear that you're going to insult the people that are selling the house? I mean, can you make any offer you want to?
You know, I think two things. One is that it's important to figure out what is value versus what's the sale price. And when we talk about value, we're really talking about what are other similar homes selling for in an area. And so even taking a step back from that, though, I think a lot of times if you've never purchased a home, the thought of seeing a home and making an offer can be really scary, because you feel as though, gosh, I'm signing documents, I'm not really sure whether this is the right home. That's okay, because when you make an offer, the only thing you're telling that seller is that I'm interested enough in this home to make you this offer.
Doesn't mean you have to buy it.
Doesn't mean you have to buy it, because you still need to receive reports, do inspections, and so it's okay. So basically, if you're out there, you've never done it before, it's okay to write an offer. It's not binding. You can change your mind.
All right. Now, Francisco, to you. So there are a lot of things to consider when you're buying, getting qualified. So let's talk about the difference between pre-qualified versus pre-approved.
Yes, pre-qualification is typically a conversation with a loan officer about what your income may be, what assets you may have available. Often enough, it doesn't include running a credit report. In some cases, it may or it may not. But it's really a rough estimate of what you could qualify for. Mm-hmm. So in many cases, realtors are looking for more like a pre-approval. They want to make sure that the lender has actually looked at your tax returns, your bank statements, your pay stubs. So it's usually better to go through the full process of having your credit run, having a loan officer actually really qualify those documents, because the realtors really want validation that what's on that piece of paper, whether it's the pre-approval or the pre-qualification, is something that's the reality, the possibility of what you can afford.
And what about the down payment? You know, what can you afford for that? What's typical?
Well, there are many options out there for down payments. In general, the larger the down payment, interest rates tend to be lower. But you know, there are folks out there that don't have the large down payment. So there are many options out there, from 20% down all the way to 0% down.
Okay, I know we're just scratching the surface because we could talk about this for half
Sure.
an hour, but you do have a workshop coming up that sort of it combines both of the thought processes that you have to give
Yes.
people information they need to know. When is that?
That's May 16th, I believe. We talk
I
very
guess May 18th?
May 18th, I'm sorry. So we do talk about many of these points in a lot of detail about the process of home buying, both from the perspective of the realtor and the lender. And we cover many of these topics and points there in detail.
Okay, guys, you need to get down there because there's a lot of great information that these guys are going to put forth. Francisco and Jorge, thank you for being with us.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
All right. Still ahead on San Diego Living.